Hi, we are Lynn and Graham, and this is our motorhome. We're two retirees who are enjoying travelling around New Zealand in our motorhome, and we feel truly fortunate to live in such a beautiful country. So come along and see what we get up to on our travels. Once again, we're loading onto the ferry, heading back to the North Island again, this time for my sister's significant birthday. She lives in Tauranga, so we're just going to wend our way up North Island. First, we're heading to the Wairarapa. So this is us driving across the infamous Remutaka Hill. We're at the summit here and about to head down towards the Wairarapa. This road can cause a few issues, particularly in the winter with a bit of snow around and occasional slips, but it's generally a pretty easy drive. It's hilly and a little bit windy, but nothing too bad, no problem in the motorhome. Down the hill, and the first little town you come to is Featherston. We're not stopping here, we're travelling on to a place called Ocean Beach, which is on the south coast. We turn right just up here before you get to the main part of Featherston. We've just pulled up at this place, right at the bottom of the North Island, here at Ocean Beach. Over those hills is Wellington Harbour. And heading round here to the east, that's the bottom of the North Island. And over there, Lake Ferry. And we are here. There is another motorhome further down, but no one else in sight, just us. Oh my goodness, we've been here 5 minutes and he's already got a piece of driftwood. He's just picked this up, which is really lovely. It's a piece of panga, do you think, Ray?
Yes.
But it's well worn by the sea. Yeah, very nice, so it will be coming home. Well, we've moved on from Ocean Beach, which is way down there on the horizon, because we've checked the weather forecast and they are now expecting 100 km/h gale winds tomorrow from the northwest. So we've moved here to Lake Wairarapa Domain. It's quite a nice little spot, and as you can see there's quite a bit of shelter around. We are parked way in the back, over there behind that bus, and we've got a nice row of sheltered bushy trees right beside us. That is the northwest, which is the way that the wind is going to come from. So we'll see what the morning brings. It's supposed to happen early morning, but we will be fine because we've got lots of nice shelter here. It's always good to have people around too when there's things going on. So yeah, very nice spot, and it's free. It's a freedom camping spot. So thank you to the Wairarapa District Council. It must be a very shallow lake because it's quite the water's quite dirty looking. Well, not dirty, but it's quite grey looking rather than nice blue lakes that we used to in the South Island. But yeah, lovely surroundings. Those are the Tauranga Ranges over there, and across the back of them is Wellington, where we came from today. So yep, just walking back from the lake. Another camper just turned up, and here we are, tucked around the corner here in our own little place, nice and sheltered. Sparrows settling into this bush for the evening, having a catch up on their activities during the day, no doubt. It's the next morning here at Lake Wairarapa, and as you can hear, there is absolutely no wind at all, so I think the forecast got that a little bit wrong. It does look a little bit foreboding through those hills in front of me there, but at the moment, yep, no wind. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning here at Lake Wairarapa. The wind's come up a bit, but it's not too bad, certainly not the high gales that they were anticipating. That's where we're parked, over where all those other vehicles are, and this is the lake, and we've just learned that it's only 2.5 metres deep at its deepest, so hence the silty looking colour, but still very pretty with the hills around, and yeah, a few birds flitting around, so very nice. There's quite a strong wind blowing. We do get some quite strong gusts, and the lake is now quite choppy, but we are nice and secure, parked in our little corner of the camp. We've decided we'll probably hang about here for a wee while, see what the weather does. It's supposed to be strong winds today and tomorrow. It's one thing you find when you've got a motorhome is you're very weather dependent, and wind is our enemy for obvious reasons. So after a couple of nights at Lake Wairarapa, the weather has improved markedly and we have a lovely blue sky today. Just admiring some of the local artwork before heading back to Featherston to do a bit of housekeeping, and then we're heading towards Cape Palliser. So we hit the coast, right at the bottom of the North Island. This piece of road is obviously gets bashed around by the weather quite a bit, and it would take quite a bit of maintenance to keep it open. I think there are parts where it's getting perilously close to the ocean, and I suspect a few more big seas, there'll be a few more washouts. Just travelling through the little township of Ngawi, which is where we plan to stay for the evening, but we're just going straight through to the Cape Palliser lighthouse to have a look out there. We're not sure what the weather's going to do tomorrow. It's a beautiful day today, and I wouldn't recommend travelling on this road. when the weather's not good. Not recommended for long vehicles, and it's worth it, but it's okay for us in our 7.5 metre motorhome. It does get narrow single lane, so you just have to be cautious and take it slowly, but yeah, it was no problem. Just walking out here onto the rocks, stones at Cape Palliser, and there's a lighthouse here which has about 200 steps to get up to it, so I'm not sure that my hip is going to survive that, so I don't know, I might give it a go. We arrived here at Ngawi after going to view the lighthouse at Cape Palliser, and we are now parked up literally on the shore. Can't get much closer. Don't think I'd like to be here when there's a southerly storm though, because I suspect the sea will be a little bit bumpier than it is right now. It's just a beautiful day. Little settlement of Ngawi. And all the fishing boats lined up on the shore. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere here, right at the bottom of the North Island. But here we have a golf course. I see the only one playing golf today is a sheep. Lots and lots of beautiful gazanias. They're all over the place around here. Everywhere, and they're brilliantly coloured. Here we have all the dozers in various states of repair or disrepair. Ngawi is a fascinating little place with all the fishing boats and these dozers all lined up, and the trip down to Cape Palliser Lighthouse was certainly worth it, so if you ever get down this way I recommend you come and have a visit. It's a little bit out of the way, but it's well worth it. And so back down the same road, just leaving the coast now, and the weather has turned a little and it's quite overcast, and we did have a bit of rain. You can see this road is subsiding quite badly in places, and with these cliffs on one side, sea on the other, there's nowhere else for the road to go, so it'll be interesting to see how it survives in the future. But anyway, it's time to head on into little historic town of Martinborough, and we have some breakfast here, and in our next video we head off through to the Manawatu and to places north. So thanks for watching, and we hope you join us for our next video of our travels in our motorhome.